Hey, everybody. What is up? What is up? It's Coach Seth. Hope everyone is doing awesome, making it an amazing, amazing day. It's Friday. Happy, fantastic Friday. Hope you all are making it an absolutely fantastic one. Okay, I should have a banner that's saying Happy, Fantastic Friday, and I don't, so I'm just going to wish it to you. Okay, hope your Friday is going awesome. So, um, if you all saw my video yesterday, I kind of started talking about kind of the power of thought. Before I get going with this, definitely, when you come on here, let me know who you are, where you're watching from. If you're watching in our replay, do hashtag replay. Okay, awesome. Now let's get back into this. So, if you saw my video that I did yesterday, I started kind of talking about this whole thing about, is there a way to kind of control what we're thinking and feeling about a certain situation? And when I talk about certain situations or things that happen in our business, what I'm talking about is kind of like upsetting events or setbacks, because we can have, immediate thoughts about, setbacks or about, negative moments or about, things that happen. But my question is there a way to kind of control what we're thinking and feeling about a certain situation? So that's what I was talking about yesterday. And I showed this model, how we have A, B, and C. A is the activating or upsetting event. That's the event that has happened, in our business, in our lives, whatever it is. It has, it has pretty much stopped us in our tracks. B is actually the automatic thoughts that we have about this activating or upsetting event. Okay, so our automatic thoughts about what just occurred. Okay, C is the consequences, the emotional and physical consequences that we now have because of this activating or upsetting event. Okay, and one of the things I was talking about here yesterday is that most people think that A, the activating event, causes C, the consequences, our emotional and physical consequences, but in reality, it's our thoughts and our self-talk that has the most influence. That is what has the most influence on us, okay, and on us moving forward. So what we need to start doing is we need to start figuring out a way to kind of shift that self-talk, and those thoughts into a narrative that is a lot more productive for us, a lot more productive to our growth and to our understanding. Okay, and not get so just caught up in all these these negative thoughts and negative self-talk that's just making us just stop in our business. It's like we can't move forward. We let what happens just paralyze us. Okay, so that's kind of what I was talking about yesterday. And what I wanted to start talking about today is ways that we can actually start kind of shifting that self-talk. Okay, so the first thing here to keep in mind is when an upsetting event occurs, we have automatic thoughts that run through our head. Now, that's kind of what we're talking about. So we had A, the upsetting event, so that has occurred. We have automatic thoughts about that event that automatically start running through our head. Okay, now what happens is these thoughts can become distorted. Okay, so, and the one thing to remember is that distorted thoughts, guys, are learned. They're not a reflection of our strength or our intelligence. Okay, these distorted thoughts, these limiting self-beliefs, we can get them, from childhood. They can be things that have been taught to us by other people. They can be, learned from, previous experiences. Again, these are these are distorted thoughts. These are negative distortions. Okay, and again, they can, we could, have them, from childhood. They can be taught to us by other people, or we can learn them from previous experiences. Now, in order to start getting rid of those distorted thoughts that we have, in order for us to keep moving forward in our businesses and towards, our big dreams and goals, I always talk about big dreams and goals, we need to tap into logic. Tap into logic and evidence in order to replace those distortions and those thoughts with a new and more helpful narrative. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay. I don't know how many of you all kind of, know a lot, about, psychology or anything, but what we have here is we have three parts of the mind. We have our emotional mind, and when we have all these distorted thoughts, we are literally all stuck in our emotional mind. So we have our emotional mind on one side. We have our logical or rational mind on the other. And in the middle, which is a combination of our emotional mind and our logical or reasoning mind, we have wise mind. And wise mind is pretty much what we need to achieve. So in order to get out of this emotional turmoil that we may be in because of these distorted thoughts, we need to start tapping into the logic and tapping into the evidence in order to help us to replace those distortions with a new and more helpful narrative that's going to help us to move forward inside of our businesses or towards our dreams and goals. Okay? And the question is, what can help us to start doing this? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all 3 examples of what kind of starts to happen when those distorted thoughts just really become overwhelming. Kind of our consequences or, pretty much, what happens to us. Okay? Thoughts-wise. Okay? And the 3 examples we're going to talk about today are, number 1, dismissing the positive. Number 2, fixating on the flaw. And number 3, assuming. Okay? So first what I want to talk about is this whole idea of dismissing the positive. And that's pretty much self-explanatory. It's pretty much how it sounds. Okay? When something happens and we have our automatic thoughts about it, we automatically start dismissing any of the positives. Okay? So we're discounting any of the positive things that have happened. Okay? The thing we need to remember, though, is that good always counts. Okay? When we start dismissing the positive, we're just, all we're doing is we're just pretty much fixating on the flaw, which is what we're going to talk about in a minute. All we're doing is just fixating on, because that event happened, this is, all this negative stuff, that's the result pretty much. Okay? So all we're doing is just dismissing all the positive that has come before it. Okay? And the antidote for this is to literally use a wider lens to expand our focus. Okay? So let me see if I can actually kind of give you guys an example. So let's say that you just start, you just start a new website, you have a new blog, okay? And you start working on your blog. It's awesome. You're really, really proud of it, right? All of a sudden, overnight, boom, you lose access to your blog. Oh my God. What are you going to do? That's pretty much the activating event that has happened. You've lost access to your blog, to your website, whatever it is. Your automatic thoughts, oh my God, what the heck am I going to do? My business is over, yada, yada, yada. Okay? But let's again use a wider lens to kind of expand your focus. Okay? Because you had started a blog, okay? And you've done your research. Now you have a lot more research in order to help you to start building a new one. Again, using a wider lens to kind of expand your focus. Or the fact is, you've done all these blog posts, okay? And unfortunately, they're gone. They're gone. But the thing is, what you can do is take kind of what you wrote and maybe turn it into maybe an audio product, or get on a video and, start talking to people about it, right? Again, using a wider lens to expand your focus, okay? And focusing on maybe some positives that may come out of that, all right? The next one, fixating on the flaw. Again, self-explanatory. You are literally zooming in on what has gone wrong, pretty much. And this literally starts, again, from a fear focus. You're focused on the fear. Again, we'll take the same example. You have a blog or a website, and boom, overnight it's gone. So your fear, oh my God, what am I going to do? My business is gone. This is horrible. You're focusing and zooming in on what has gone wrong. Let me give you another example. Okay. You release your first product or your first course in your business and you get a lot of reviews on it. Okay. And every single review was positive except for 2 negative ones. And what do? You only focus on those negative reviews. You discount the positive. You do number one, you dismiss the positive reviews and you just focus on those 2 negative reviews. And that's all you do. Again, the antidote is to use a wider lens to expand your focus. Okay? Start maybe focusing more on those positives. And if you need to, take those negative reviews. Okay, take those negative reviews you may have gotten about your product or your course or your book or whatever it is. Use it maybe as constructive criticism. Okay, to kind of help you for the next time. Okay, so we've talked about dismissing the positive, and we talked about fixating on the flaw. And the antidote to literally both of these is to kind of use a wider lens to expand your focus. Okay, so you're dismissing the positive. You need to use a wider lens to actually start focusing on it. Okay, you're fixating on your flaws. Maybe start trying to actually focus on your positives. Okay, and the last one here is assuming. All right. This one, when we have those distorted thoughts, when we start assuming different things. Now, assuming can come into 3 categories. Number 1 is mind reading. Okay, we start reading them. We start finding that we start reading the minds of people and what they think about us. Okay, so an example, my colleagues, if you were at like maybe a 9-to-5 job, or maybe if you're in a business, my colleagues or, my employees think that I'm a wimp because I'm so stressed out about this that has happened. Again, you're mind reading what they're thinking without using, as we talked about earlier in this video, actual evidence. So in other words, when we start mind reading, we need to challenge with what's the evidence? Have these colleagues or people told you that that's what they think? Okay. Have they told it to you? Okay. So again, we need to start challenging with what's the evidence? Okay. Another one with assuming, we jump to conclusions. Okay. We jump to conclusions about, things that happen. Okay. Here's an actual off the cuff example. This has kind of nothing to do with business, but you hear a noise in your house and you automatically, assume that, you're jumping to conclusions that it's a burglar and the burglar is there to hurt you or something. Okay. Again, you're jumping to conclusions. Challenge again with what's the evidence? Okay. And again, another one that's under the topic here of assuming, fortune telling. Okay. This one, we are pessimistically predicting a negative outcome of something. So we need to challenge this one, thinking again like a bit of a scientist in a way. Okay. This has happened. What is the probability that this will happen again? Okay. Instead of thinking that, automatically that this will be, the worst outcome. Okay. Again, challenge with thinking like a bit of a scientist. What is the probability that this will happen? I have no evidence that this will happen again. Okay. So I definitely hope you guys got some value out of those. Okay. Because it is important for us as business owners, as people that are working towards our big dreams and goals, that when we have setbacks or we have things that happen that are very agitating to us, that are disturbing, and those automatic thoughts come in, those negative thoughts, those distortions, all of that, we need to figure out a way to shift those thoughts. Okay? And the key here is to always to tap into logic and evidence in order to replace distortions with a new and more helpful narrative. Okay, so that's the first key you gotta understand. Also, begin shifting self-talk into a narrative that's more productive to our growth and our understanding, so we can move forward in our businesses. Okay, so we've talked about, how a lot of us, we just focus on the negative of what's happening. Why not try and focus maybe on something positive, that's happening? Okay, so I definitely hope you guys got some value out of this video. Please, if you did, please let me know down in the comments below. Okay, what are kind of some things that you do to help yourself, to kind of bounce, out of those distorted thoughts, or those limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs is also kind of another word for these. Okay, what are some of the things that you do to help yourself? Okay, in tomorrow's video, I'm going to start. We're going to start as we talked about today. We talked about dismissing the positive, we talked about fixating on the flaw, and we talked about assuming. We're going to talk about 3 more things that happen when those distortions start really messing with our thoughts. Okay, and I'm going to give you guys some tips on how you can start shifting those thoughts. Okay. So I'm going to discuss that in the video for tomorrow. All right. So again, I hope you guys got some value out of this. Definitely, if you did, let me know in the comments below. Okay. I always say, guys, stay positive, stay motivated, stay focused on your big dreams and goals. Hope y'all have an awesome, amazing rest of your day. Always remember, tap into logic, evidence in order to replace distortions with a new and more helpful narrative. All right. Hope you all have an awesome, amazing rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace, guys.